Welcome to our channel today. We are going to be exploring the most haunted places in Iceland and the ghost stories and folklore around them. So let's get right into the video. First, we have the Akureyri Theater, believed to be haunted by the ghost of a former actress. It was said that at night, the old woman would appear in ghostly form on the theater's balcony and gaze down at the audience below. Some people claimed to have heard her singing as they walked past, while others reported strange noises coming from within. One of the most spine-chilling experiences occurred one summer night when a local theater group decided to rehearse a play late into the night with the lights off. After a few minutes, they noticed a chill in the air, as if someone had opened a window, yet all the windows were closed. It wasn't long before they heard somebody walking across the stage, as if someone was trying to join their rehearsal. The cast froze in terror as they heard an old woman's voice coming from the balcony, singing a haunting song from the past. Realizing that they were not alone in the theater, they ran out of the building in terror, and nobody has ventured back since. Many people claim that the ghost of the old performer still haunts the theater, and that those brave enough to step inside will pay the ultimate price. Next, we have Hólavallagarður Cemetery. This cemetery is one of the oldest in Iceland. The story goes the dead refused to remain buried and instead infiltrated the nightly air with eerie groans and moans, so locals and tourists alike emptied their scavenged bags of coins, apples, and bread to offer peace and fear to the restless dead. It was also said that the spirits of the cemetery were of a dark and vengeful form. If anyone were to trespass the boundaries of the graveyard's gates, they wouldn't make it out alive. It was rumored that a local teenager once ventured into the graveyard late one night. His friend said he stumbled out shortly afterward, screaming and crying that he should have never interfered with ancient secrets. He swore he saw a woman dressed in black with a cold glint in her eye, stalking between the tombstones. According to Icelandic folklore, the first person buried in a graveyard is the guardian of the site and will come back and protect all the dead that follow them. Hólavallagarður's guardian is Gudrun Oddsdottir, who died in 1838. Next up, we have Stokksness Beach, a popular spot for locals and tourists to see and take pictures of the northern lights. Many people believe that this beach is extremely haunted due to its treacherous shores and the wreckage of numerous ships. One tourist spent time here to photograph the northern lights himself, during which one night they awoke to a spectacular display of the aurora borealis. However, their excitement turned to fear when they discovered large, wet footprints leading from the beach to their tripod, despite there being no other signs of humans around. Coincidentally, he was in a hostel in Panama later, and an Icelandic filmmaker was staying in his dorm. They began talking about Iceland and places they had been. He told him about the beach and asked him if he knew of any other ghost stories. With his face in shock, he explained to him that he had just finished filming a documentary about the beach and how it's haunted. He says there have been multiple sightings by locals of a giant hairy man walking out of the ocean at night, as well as voices that are carried by the wind, and an eerie presence of someone watching you is felt on this beach. Next up, Hvítárnes Hut and Lake, known as one of the most haunted places in Iceland. The story goes that when guests arrive late at night, they have vividly seen the face of a woman inside the hut through the window, expecting to meet her when entering. But once inside, there is no one. According to the stories, the Grey Ladies is this mysterious woman you can see through the window who refuses to let the guests get a good night's sleep. What she does varies, but it is often during their sleep they can feel her presence. She has been known to almost sit on top of people's chests, pressing them down so that they are unable to breathe, as well as being haunted by horrible nightmares. Sometimes she even kicks them out of the beds they were assigned to. There are particular male guests that have been tormented, some even driven out from the warm hut out in the freezing cold because of the fear of what the ghost of the woman is capable of. There is one bed rumored to be the worst one of all, nicknamed the ghost bunks or her bed. The bed is placed in a different direction to the rest by the door, so it's easy to see if you got the short end of the stick. There are many theories of who she could be, and they are almost all linked to the farm ruins nearby. Some claim that there was a girl working for the farmer and his wife once upon a time. The farmer tried to sleep with the girl once, but she refused him. Angered by her refusal, he locked her outside in a snowstorm, which can last for days. She died. But the farmer didn't live long after, as his wife killed him to avenge the poor girl that was under their care. Another theory is that she was the farmer's wife, and her husband cut off her arm and drowned her in a lake nearby. Another is that she died after being left by him while pregnant. Either way, the Hut's guestbooks are chock full of sightings, phenomena, feelings, and various other unusual goings-on. Recurrent features include parties approaching a lit cabin with a figure visible inside, but entering to find the house empty, dark, and cold. Meetings with the silent figure of a woman in either the cabin's entrance hall or around the single bed built across a former doorway nearest the stairs. There are records of encounters with a ghostly force whilst in bed, and drifting between wakefulness and dream, as well as unaccountable sounds and lights emanating from upstairs when guests are downstairs, and vice versa. Countless of frightened visitors have scribbled down how they slept in their car instead, or didn't get a single minute of sleep because of the haunting. Someone just scribbled down the word ghost. This is a very old entry as well, and it shows that the hut has been deemed haunted for a very long time. Next, we have Höfði House. This historic house is known for its association with the Cold War, as it was the site of the 1986 summit meeting between US President Ronald Reagan and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev. The house is also said to be haunted by the ghost of a young woman named Solborg Jonsdottir, who is said to have poisoned herself after a notorious assault case. The earliest occupant, judge and poet Einar Benediktsson, claimed it was haunted by this lady. She would appear to him at night pleading and crying. This claim was further substantiated by a British ambassador who resided at Höfði in 1952, who demanded that Britain sell the house because of what he called bumps in the night. Since then, it has remained uninhabited and owned by the state. Lastly, we have Gunnuhver. This mud pool in the Reykjanes Peninsula is named after Gunna, a woman who lived on the peninsula some 400 years ago. After dying of starvation due to her landlord taking away her cooking pot when she was unable to pay rent, her spirit came back to violently murder him and his wife. The local townspeople called upon a priest to take care of their little ghost problem, which he solved by casting Gunna into a boiling hot mud pool. While no other murders have occurred since then, some visitors claim to catch glimpses of Gunna's ghostly figure through the billowing mist of the pools from time to time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you enjoy all things paranormal, and click the bell to get notified of our latest videos. Thank you for watching. Until next time,